Exam DOST success का host Sainik Navodaya में topmost.
Now after the present tense, let us discuss the past tense. In the active voice, the construction of past tense is subject plus V2, which is the past form of the verb, plus the object. And in the passive voice, it will be object plus was or were based on the subject. If it is singular or plural, then past participle form V3 plus by plus the subject. Look at the example. Raman painted a picture. Raman is the subject. Painted is the past form of the verb. A picture is the object. Now when we convert this active voice to passive voice, the object will become the subject, will come in the beginning. A picture. Now a picture is singular, so we will use the helping verb was. Past participle form of the verb painted will be painted, followed by and the subject Raman. So the passive voice will be a picture was painted by Raman. Now here, picture is not the one who's doing the action, but the action is done on the picture. So it is the passive voice. Past continuous tense. The construction in the active voice is subject plus was or were based on the subject plus V1 plus ing form and the object. And in the passive voice, it will become object plus was or were plus being plus third form of the verb followed by and the subject. Let's look at the example. He was watching television. Now here he is the subject, was is the helping verb, watching is V1 plus ing, television is the object. This is the active voice because here the subject is doing the action. Let us convert it into passive voice. The object will become the subject. So let's write the television in the beginning. Television is singular, so we'll use was followed by being. The past participle form of verb watch is watched followed by and the subject he, the pronoun he will be converted to the object form him. This will be the passive voice. Now the past perfect tense construction is subject plus had plus past participle third form of verb plus object, and in the passive voice it will become object plus had plus been, past participle form third form of verb followed by and the subject. Let's understand this through an example. She had solved the puzzle. Here she is the subject, had is helping verb, solved is main verb, third form past participle form, the puzzle is the object. Converting it into passive voice, in the beginning I'll write down the object, the puzzle, followed by had, been, Past participle form will remain the same, solved by. The pronoun she will be converted to the object form her. So passive voice will be the puzzle had been solved by her. And finally, coming to the past perfect continuous tense. In the past perfect continuous tense, like present perfect continuous tense, there is no change in the active and passive voice. So they will remain the same. Now moving on to the future tenses. Simple future tense. Construction in the active voice will be subject plus will or shall, first form of verb plus object. And in the passive voice, it will be changed to object plus will or shall plus be plus third form of the verb followed by and the subject. Let's look at an example. I shall paint a picture. I is the subject. Shall helping verb. Paint is first form of the verb. A picture is the object. Writing this in the passive form. Let's write down the object first, a picture. Use shall followed by be plus third form of the verb. Third form of paint will be painted followed by. Convert I to its object form. It is me. That's the passive voice. A picture shall be painted by me in the simple future tense. Coming to the future continuous tense. Now in the future continuous tense, there is no change in the active voice and passive voice. They both remain the same. The future perfect tense. In the active voice, the construction should be subject plus will or shall plus have, past participle the third form of verb and the object. And in the passive voice, it will become object plus will or shall plus have plus been third form of the verb followed by and the subject form. My mother will have baked a cake. Now mother is doing the action. Active voice. My mother is the subject. Will helping verb. Have helping verb. Baked main verb third form. A cake is the object. Let's convert it into passive form. It will be a cake will followed by have been third form of the verb baked followed by by and the subject my mother. Passive voice. A cake object will have been helping verb baked third form of verb followed by preposition by. My mother is the subject. Finally, the future perfect continuous tense. There is again no change in the active and passive voice. So we understand that in the perfect continuous tense, whether it is a present perfect continuous tense or a past perfect continuous tense or future perfect continuous tense, there is no change in the active and passive voice. Additionally, in the future continuous tense also, there is no change in the active and passive voice. Now let us see some examples of conversions. Now here the sentence is given. We have to first identify whether it is an active voice or passive voice. If it is an active voice, we will convert it into passive voice. If it is passive, we will convert it into active. Sentence says, people of Assam grow tea. is the subject, grow is the verb action, T is the object. Now here the action is done by the subject, so this is a active voice. Since it is an active voice, we will convert it into passive voice. Converting the active voice to passive voice, your first step should be to identify the tense. Understand that without identifying the tense, you will not be accurately give the answer. It might create a confusion. Identifying the tense, understand the meaning of the sentence. This is a simple sentence or a statement or a truth or a regular activity or a habit. So this will be a simple present tense. And the construction of simple present tense in active voice is subject plus first form of verb plus the object. And when I convert it into the passive voice, it becomes object plus helping verb is MR plus third form of the verb followed by preposition by, and at the end the subject. So let's write down the object T. T is singular, so we'll use is. Third form of the verb grow, grew, grown. So third form of the verb grow is grown, followed by preposition by comes the subject, people of Assam. So the passive voice will be T is grown by by people of Assam. I will arrange a taxi for Ria. I is the subject doing the action. This is the active voice. Understand the tense. The structure is subject plus will plus first form of the verb plus object. Now here the actual object is a taxi. Converting them into the passive voice, we'll start with a taxi followed by will followed by be. Taking the third form of the verb arrange, it will be arranged. Now let's add the additional object, which is for Ria, at the end, followed by the preposition by. Convert the subject I to its object form, which is me. Now in this sentence, if you write a taxi for Ria first will be arranged by me, it will not be correct, because we have to first add the object, and here the actual object is a taxi. So that part should come first, then the will plus be, then arrange third form of the verb, then the additional object for Ria, and finally followed by preposition by and the object form of subject, which is I, which is object form of I is me. This is the passive voice. The gardener plucked flowers from the plant. The gardener is the subject, plucked past form of the verb, flowers is the object. The sentence is a simple past. For the simple past, the structure remains object plus was or were followed by past participle form, third form of the verb, followed by preposition by and the subject. Object is flowers. Now it is in plural, so we use were. Past participle form of the verb plucked is plucked by the gardener. At the end, write down from the plant. This will be the passive voice. Flowers were plucked by the gardener from the plant. My mother teaches me science. My mother is the subject. Teaches is the first form of the verb. Science is the object. Now here the construction will slightly change to simple present tense. Science. Since it is singular, use helping verb is. Third form of the verb will be taught. To me. By my mother. Passive voice. Now as you see that there are slight changes as when we discuss the rules. You can achieve this by solving more and more problems.